Naked Gumby picture.
Welcome to Fact or Freestyle.
People love Dave Nourie, and they always answer the phone when he calls. When we get him on Zoom, we ask him to confirm rumors.
Let's see how far down the rabbit hole we go.
Did you see my text?
Yeah, I did. So let me tell you, I'm getting my massage, and this is how I was explaining what happened with the RL thing. Last week, Dylan texts and says, "Hey, RL would like to have you on the show. We talk about the horror." I say, "Great, sounds wonderful." Furthermore, Dave and I would love to have RL on factOrFreestyle. And he says, "That sounds great. When would you like to do it?" RL is available Monday or Friday. And so I was talking to you and I was driving a van. And so I texted back and said, well, Monday's good. Because I thought Monday's going to be good for me to appear on the RL show. Well, Monday, late afternoon rolls around. Dylan says, "Hey, how do you want to do this? Do you have a link?" I'm like, "Whatever you want." So then I look a little closer and I realize he's got RL for factOrFreestyle. So then I hit you up. We do the show, works out great. That was Monday. Thursday, RL posts, "My frame is broken."
Right, he slammed on his face. Yeah.
2 days ago, I crashed. Wait a second.
Wait,
2 days ago, you crashed? Tuesday. So he finished. So then yesterday, Friday, Brett Downs goes, "Hey, look on RL's YouTube." And RL talks about Joe Serum Sick Man, butchers it. And he goes, "Hey, yeah, I was just on their show, Fact or Fiction, Freestyle, whatever." Tuesday, that was Tuesday.
It's the best press you can have because we can use that factOrFreestyle or factOrFiction or factor whatever RL calls it. We'll call it that. You know, like that could be a perfect little.
Dude, it's perfect. Sequence of events. Sunday, I'm in a van talking to you, texting with Dylan, and I fuck up the schedule. I could have said Friday, but I said Monday.
Right. And even if it's Monday, it's off anyways, but you know,
Somehow you were available. Somehow I was available. I wrapped up my day. My boss got his COVID shot on Sunday, and he said,
"Let me text Xavier right now to say, hey,
okay.
So when did I send the message to Ron? I said in 15 minutes. So that's in 10. Okay, so I'm going to say 10.
We're good.
I'm just going to.
The only reason I could talk.
Why don't you record me while I'm doing that? Oh, you're recording.
I am.
I'm just going to call instead of text because that's going to make better content.
Yeah. Anyway, we do the recording on Monday.
Sorry, there's more to the story. I'm sorry.
We do the recording on Monday.
Right.
Either Monday night, he records his YouTube. On Tuesday, he front hops. The frame breaks.
Right.
We got him. Dave, you have to realize his interview with us was the culmination of all of his plans with this frame. And it was the last day that frame existed.
The last day it existed. And if you would have scheduled it Friday, it would have been a completely different thing.
Completely different thing.
And did he land right on his face? Is he okay? Like, I don't know.
I haven't gone too much into it, but from his post, now he blames God for this.
He does.
He blames God for this.
He does.
Which, by the way, I attribute all of this, like, Dave, if we rolled 5 dice and they all came, like, what are the odds of Monday we record, Tuesday he eats shit, Thursday he admits it, Friday they publish the YouTube video that he recorded Monday night after he talked to us.
Right. He recorded that was when he was talking about all the different parts that he had. And you said something about at 8 minutes and 3 seconds. I watched it and I don't know what that point was. Do you remember?
On his YouTube, is at 8 minutes and 3 seconds is when he begins to talk about the time he spent on our show.
Oh, okay, then I'll go back and check that out. I was probably just doing other things. I
Right.
didn't have the time. Okay, like at least 100 this week of people saying, when is Wilkerson Airlines going to take off again?
So the problem with mine is I don't have a count because I looked the other day and
Joe,
they went into my generals.
Joe.
You know how you have two inboxes on your Instagram? Mine, I wasn't looking there. So I thought I was only getting like 10 a week.
Okay, so you did you figure that loophole out and now you're seeing all the, because I can't even respond to them all, but I mean, time and time again, at least 100 for Wilkerson Airlines to take off again. And so I think he should be second in line right after Haro. I mean, Haro's just a given, and Bolgen's, you know, he's open to creative ideas. I feel like, you know.
Is Ron aware of the Gumby vendetta?
I'll do it while he's on there.
Hello, Ron.
Ron Wilkerson connecting to audio. Check 1, 2.
What's up?
Hey, Ron.
Oh,
Hey, you changed your name. Your screen name says iPhone. That's pretty cool.
really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna start calling you I for short.
No, it's my last name first.
It's your last name first.
Yeah.
So you're still Ron.
No, my
iPhone.
first name's phone. My last name's I.
Oh, got it. Okay,
That's
phone.
how they do it in Japan.
So this is Joe Sickman, and make sure to call him Sick Man, even though some people think it's Sisman. And he's the one that has been doing all these fun Factor Freestyle episodes, and your name has come up a few different times. So
Uh-oh.
yeah, many a times.
I don't know what that means.
Well, like the most recent one, I'm just going to freestyle a little here, Joe, but there has been some very pressing evidence that I think it was you, Brian, and Mike Dominguez were sponsored by Budget Rent-A-Cars back in the day. And you were just there to get press, whatever press, even bad press. And that they had some pretty big contracts with you guys. Is there any truth to that?
Any press is good press.
Exactly. So Budget had this idea where it was like they would have these kids thrashing these, these cars and like rolling over the van. Like the van was basically the clincher, and now he's gone. Right at the clincher.
What's going on here?
I don't know. Was it you're
I don't know. Now
Mr.
it's calling me. No, Nick Phillip declined. Sorry. Nick
Oh,
Phillips
yeah.
calling me.
Nick Phillips?
Do you know Nick Phillip?
The name sounds familiar, but I don't think so.
I can't hear you.
Why can't you hear us?
I think he's got an
Wait.
incoming call or something.
Start video. Why can't I hear you? Oh, here we go. Oh, there. Say something.
Okay, testing
Hey.
1, 2.
Do you know Nick Phillip?
Nick Phillip. It sounds familiar, but I don't know. Who is he? Is he a writer?
He's kind of credited. Oh crap. He's here in Santa Cruz right now. What are you doing for lunch?
Have him on the show.
He's credited with inventing the wall ride.
Oh, well, we have to have him on the show.
Wow.
Because the wall rides come up a lot. And
Yeah,
you just send him a text, tell him to
credited.
come over.
He's credited with it. And let me text him back right now.
Okay, I'm going to try to get Craig Campbell on because that will be the other one.
Come by.
Oh, now it says Ron Wilkerson.
Yeah, I fixed it. I was able to.
Ron Wilkerson, who's that?
Oh, this is this guy that I'm trying to hear some stories from.
I see. Nick Phillips doing a podcast with Gumby Man right now.
You should have dropped Sickman's name too. He would have came over in a second.
And they want you.
Want you. I mean, but wall ride, that's like a fundamental like street. We need to get Pete Augustin on this call.
Yeah, he's credited with it. He's from UK.
He's from the UK. And what year do you think he actually did the first wall ride?
He's got a picture in some English magazine doing it.
Perfect.
And he just sold the NFT of it for a lot of money.
No
Really?
way.
Yeah. But Nick's the fucking man. He used to have a clothing company called Anarchic Adjustments back in the rave days. And those shirts were everywhere. And now he has a shirt company called Imaginary Foundation. And he's like a high level designer. He's amazing.
Joe, don't even go there with the sponsorship. That's not appropriate because we don't even know this guy. So I know what you're thinking. Sorry, Ron. Joe's got these. He's going to start pitching people about sponsors. But I just want to make sure that that's just not appropriate.
Yeah, because
it was the right place and right time.
Well, so Ron, we got RL Osborne to do an interview with us like a day before he did front hops and snapped his head tube off. And so we're going to try to sell ad space for that interview show.
So make sure, Joe.
Don't about RL Osborne.
What's that?
Sure.
What? Sorry, did you say something? What were you guys saying? I couldn't hear you.
You know, Joe, that Ron he's not even on any social media. So anything that you reference as far as posting, Ron won't have.
So I'll give you the backstory. Last year, RL Osborne joined Facebook and got a bike and started riding. And he started hanging out with the wheelie kids, the 26 inch bikes. So then he gets a 26-inch Haro, the Master, the teal one, and he's starting to do tricks on it. But it's hard. Like, it's really hard to do tricks on a 26. So
Sure.
He figures that to make it easier, he's gonna cut it, lower the top tube, like actually cut it, and like cut the head tube and make it steeper. So he does this, and the welds look kind of weird. Unbeknownst to us, the frame was aluminum, so of course the welds look funny. Anyway, I had kind of been roasting this whole idea on my Instagram because it was ridiculous. So finally, we get him on the show, we talk about it, and then the very next day, he's out doing front hops, and the head tube snaps off, and he eats shit, and he's laying on the on the concrete for, like, he says, a half an hour, and then he walked inside and went to bed.
He had a front hop slam. Damn,
Dude,
because his brake or his head tube broke off. Or
the head tube, God, can you even imagine on a 26-inch, you're doing front hops, the head tube breaks, your arms go one way, your body goes the next. Like, it's all off axis.
okay, so Ron, I want to get back to this sponsorship. So factOrFreestyle.
oh,
Did you
but
sign a contract with Budget Rent-A-Car or any other rent-a-car
think it was
to basically joyride rent-a-cars?
I think it was Avis.
It was Avis, Joe. I see. It was Avis.
Yeah, but I got paid back for all those rental car excursions just recently.
Oh no.
Yeah,
You didn't roll another fan, did you?
no, I rented a car in Costa Rica, and I started driving. Like an hour later, the front bumper was off a little bit, meaning it was damaged before I got it, and they would have charged me for that because super strict about anything like that, and they would have charged me for that. So my girl, like, MacGyver the whole thing, like, got online, found out the part that it was, found a used place that had those parts, and we went there and bought a new one and had it put on.
No way.
And what they would have charged me to do it. But that was my payback. Well, it wasn't a full payback. It was just a little stab.
Testing the waters.
Little stab pay for all the rent-a-cars when we didn't have the sponsorship contract.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was wise once you got the sponsorship, and then that just opened up the doors for sure.
Yeah. I don't get paid back for that because that was part of my job, the sponsorship thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Brian Blyther was more the leader of that.
He was like a team manager.
And he taught me everything I know about driving.
I see.
Yeah.
And jumping cars.
And rental car. He taught me everything I know about driving rental cars.
Hey, what about the story when we were in Germany and we convinced the Germans that we could do, we used to call them Batman slides, right? E-brake slides, that we did an e-brake slide with the trailer. Do you remember that story? I'm testing your memory, Ron, because I know that sometimes it'll come, but you just have to. So we're probably with Lars and Stefan Pronto, probably Bernd Schneider, for sure, those three. And we're talking about e-brake slides. And you and Brian got the story going.
I don't remember doing it with a trailer, but if I think about it, it's not that far-fetched that we would have done it.
No, but we didn't actually do it. We just told them that you told them that you did it. And they were like, what? Really?
It's coming back to me now.
I told you. See, Joe, it just takes a little bit of warm up.
You're jogging my memory now. Lars from Mars and Bernie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what about the time when you backed up on the Autobahn? You remember we pulled off, we didn't have a trailer. Do you remember this? And we were with
Sure.
Eris?
Yeah. We had tomatoes in his eyes.
Yeah.
But
we missed our exit, and then Brian just pulls over and starts backing up down the Autobahn, and everyone except for Ron and I were freaking out in the car, Joe. They were like, what? You can't, no, you can't do this.
But then again, it could have been mixed up with any of the other stories we would have told Lars or Bernie.
Right.
So I don't, it kind of jumbles up with all those other stories we told them.
That's right.
Uh-huh.
So Joe, do you have any Factor Freestyle questions for Ron? Because I do. So we have gotten mixed feedback on this one, and it goes like this:
Fact or freestyle? Bob Harrow is an over gripper.
Bob Harrow is an over gripper.
An over gripper.
When he first shakes your hand, excessively strong handshake. And he catches you off guard. Is this true? Do you remember the first time that you shook hands with Bob Harrow? And if so, did he flex on you?
I vaguely remember it, but during those times I was young, and so you take that shit real serious anyways. So I probably just matched his grip naturally.
You tensed up.
No, just because when you're young, like you're shaking the hand of someone famous like that, then you're like, whoa, I better shake his hand good. And then you like shake it. But I vaguely remember such a thing, yeah. But I don't know how he is nowadays.
Well, we asked Vic Murphy about it, and Vic's a little concerned about, because now everything's like all about fist bump. We're thinking, man, if he's an over gripper, if he's a fist bumper now, he's just gonna like knock you out.
The COVID bumper.
Oh, even before that, come on.
He's a COVID over bumper.
He's a COVID over bumper.
Or COVID bumper.
So So actually, Ron, you said something interesting. You said that you probably overgripped because you were excited to meet Bob Harrow. So if Bob Harrow, okay, so if Bob Harrow overgripped Pete Augustine, you know what that means, right?
They fought.
He was excited about meeting Pete Augustine, and he tensed up.
Oh, they didn't fight. Did he punch him?
Well,
No.
Pete, at least not yet. Pete still warms up when he knows he's going to meet Bob Harrow.
Oh, well, Pete's different now.
What's that? Say it again, Ron?
Pete's different now than he was back then.
Yeah.
Now he'll like look in your eyes and say hi. And
Fact or freestyle, Diz Hicks is an overlooker.
kind of like Diz Hicks, they're both different.
Yeah.
Like they shake your hand, look in your eyes, like, "Hey, how's it going?" And you're just like, "Whoa, what's going on here?" Really? I guess this life teaches that to some people.
Yeah. I have a question.
So Diz Hicks is an overlooker.
He's an overlooker.
He's a looker starter.
He's a looker starter.
Yeah.
Start looker.
Yeah.
Start looker. Hey, I have a question that just came to mind. You wrote somebody a fan letter when you were a kid. Is this fact or freestyle? And they didn't respond. So that was really disheartening to you. And you decided, you made it like a vow to yourself that you would answer every fan mail that you ever received.
Someone started, no. Maybe it was like 6th grade, 5th, 6th grade. I was a big time Elton John fan. Rock of the Westies album. I would like trace his image, and I'd send him fan letters to the record label. And God, if I would have got a postcard, if I got a little something in the mail from Elton John, dude, my life would be different right now. I mean, I would be so stoked. So I never got anything from him back. And so I always made it so it was my thing. Like I answered all my fan mails. Might take a long time, but I'd answer them all. And that was my inspiration, was not getting a fan letter from Elton John. And what's super cool is that nowadays I'll meet people here and there that got a fan letter back from me, and how stoked they were. I was just like, yeah, that's exactly how I would have been if I would have got one from Elton John.
That's so cool.
But yeah, I used to get like bathtubs full of fan mail back when people wrote letters.
Right.
And I'd bring like on flights, I'd bring like a big stack of letters with me. I'd be answering them on the plane for something to do. And yeah, that was that one.
And I'm remembering when we would go out riding, sometimes like at night, practicing in the parking lot or what have you, you'd be up there in the hotel room answering fan mail. Like that was a thing. I couldn't believe how much you had, and like that's just so cool.
I answered mine, man. If I would have got anything back from Elton John, even if it wasn't him, even just someone that said they were him, I would have like lost my shit. But oh, there he is right there. You know what? You know what's funny? Nick Phipps just arrived here. The gate's open, and you know what's really crazy? Look at this shirt. Let me show it to you.
Oh, that's one of the shirts you talked about. His rave. What is that thing?
This is Nick Phipps' shirt right here. Look how cool it is.
What's up, man? Who's this?
Nick Phipps.
Is that the inventor of the wall ride?
Yes, Nick Phipps.
The first wall ride ever?
Wall ride NFT guy.
Whoa.
What's your name?
I'm
that's
Joe. What's up?
Hello.
But the other one's Mover or Dave Nourie. How do I change this view? We're gonna see Dave.
Try to go in the upper corner.
Some rad stuff, man.
That's Dave Nourie.
Wow.
Dave Nourie right there.
No way. Cool, man.
They're doing like it's called Fact or Fiction their podcast thing they're doing right now.
Oh, nice.
And
Or,
that's
Dinner.
Nick.
Right
or
now?
we could call it Factor Freestyle, Ron. I haven't decided. It might be called Factor Friction. I don't know.
Oh, you're working
Oh,
on
yeah.
it, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
so
No.
Factor Freestyle. Sorry, Factor
That's
Friction.
good.
You can call it that if you want. Yeah, come here real quick. You're gonna be stoked. What are you doing? Oh, pause it and come here.
So Dave,
I-
did Ron
yeah.
just very much look like Mark Hamill for a moment there?
Yeah.
Who? Nick?
You. No, you. Like your profile when you were just calling in. You
Who's
look-
Mark Hamill?
Luke Skywalker.
Oh, Star Wars guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that one all the time. Only usually they say I look like C3PO.
Hold on. I'm gonna change my mic settings too. So, Nick, you were at a rave in Orlando at 94 during SIGGRAPH.
Okay. Was I DJing at that? Was I
In
DJing
2
at that?
miles, use the
No.
right lanes to
Doc
take the
Martin
I-278 west.
It was like an after party that a bunch of CGI nerds from like Pixar and ILM. Through that party, my friend John Santos ended up moving out to SF because we basically stayed up till like 7 a.m. It was like Jody, John, myself, you, and I think this guy David Robert, who went to MIT, and he also worked for Side Effects, the software company.
So did you work for Side Effects?
David Robert did. I was
Right.
still a student in '94, but
What do you do now?
Well, I'm trying to get this film that I just sent out a trailer for off the ground. It's about kind of that era of '87 to '91, like BMX,
Nice.
bike riding, skating, music. How some people, kind of got brought up by it, other people got spit out the other side the wrong way. Yeah, I don't know if you remember, Freestyle did a book called Generation F. And
I don't think.
and Spike went out to a bunch of people, and I'm sure they talked to you, Ron. I think you were in there. Is that right?
I don't remember seeing it.
Like
Doesn't-
2009, they
doesn't-
published this giant book with Nike, and they interviewed a bunch of people, like everybody from Craig Grosso to Brian Blyther, and everybody from they had gotten in touch with a bunch of people that were like doing zines, and they wanted to know how it affected them. So in many ways, like doing the zine was kind of like me to keep my head straight. So basically, I'm trying to tell that story of like how I didn't end up in a gutter like a lot of my other friends did by doing
That's
zines,
a good
bike
story.
riding, etc. So yeah.
Factor Friction. But the cool part of this story is look at the shirt I have on.
I know.
That's a Nick shirt.
No, there's a double like.
Oh.
Are you running out?
I got 10%.
You got a Dodger or something?
Yeah.
The double synchronicity calibrator is that I wasn't even meant to be here. I came down to get my second COVID shot, and it was a mistake, and I got the day wrong. So I shouldn't even be here. See, that's how my life is I make a mistake like that, and then I end up hooking up with all these wicked mates.
You end up Factor Friction.
Yeah, that's what the director tells
We got
me
to change the name. We got to change the name because now 3 times people have said fact or friction or fact or fiction. So it's friction or fiction. We thought freestyle because we're freestylers, but it's all good.
Is it about freestyle?
Yeah. So let's,
Yeah.
Joe, why don't you go
call
back
it
in your
Back to
format,
Freestyle
okay?
then.
And see,
It's
Yeah.
about all of us, man.
Dude, I hear
Okay.
stuff all the time. People tell me stories about things I did. I'm like, wow, really? I did that?
Yeah.
Well,
You have a
well,
good
this,
excuse,
well, this
though,
might
man.
be one of them.
You've
This might
hey,
be
Joe,
one of them.
before you go there though, I have an idea. So Nick, Factor Freestyle, did Ron Wilkerson receive a letter, a fan letter response from Elton John?
Yeah.
Factor Freestyle.
I don't think Nick will know this one.
It seems like there would have to be fact because it's so crazy that
I know,
it
exactly.
would have to be true knowing this guy.
No, actually, the
Ron?
story behind it is that when I was young, maybe like 5th or 6th grade, I was a big time Elton John fan. And I used to trace his image off the albums and all that. Back they had albums.
Right.
And I sent him fan letters. And like, man, if I would have got one letter from him, it would have like, I would have shit myself. But he never did. I never got anything back.
So it's freestyle.
And
you
so,
didn't get it.
so then that's what inspired me to always answer my fan letters.
Oh, wow. That is really making lemonade out of lemons.
That's my story.
See, this is how he rolls, man.
Fact or freestyle? Fuck. Back in the day, there was an agency that taught riders to mouth pose in order to get coverage in the liberal elite BMX media, which I probably became part of. Sorry.
All right, so Ron, we heard that back in the day, there was an agency that managed mouth models, and this agency encouraged all of their riders to make aggro faces to get coverage in magazines. And we were told that you were part of that agency.
What was the agency called?
We don't know the name of the agency.
And what type of agency was it?
It was an agency that taught riders how to make aggro faces, what they referred to as mouth modeling.
Well, I was actually the guy that inspired them to start that agency.
Told you. I knew it, Joe. I knew that was the resource. Yep.
So,
go on.
Mm-hmm.
So they just, and I told them what to do.
Okay, well, this is how it works. We hear we hear portions of the story, but we have to validate them because there's little things that are different. So we thought that you were in the agency. Turns out you inspired the agency.
And so, is it true though? Is it true that Eddie Roman was like your poster child? Because Eddie Roman had some of the best shots in like Upland Pipeline, all these different contests. Everyone's doing these big airs, and you're looking at Eddie Roman with the aggro face. Was that your star?
Boys, for him.
Yeah, try for him.
I think he was.
I've got a good Eddie Roman story after this. Sorry.
Okay.
I think he was the first one we sponsored.
Got it. It's all coming together. Okay,
Yeah.
what's your story about Eddie Roman?
Probably know this, but
Fact or freestyle? Nick Phillips showed Eddie Roman the first wall ride.
I showed Eddie Roman the first wall ride. What happened was there was a contest, and the Skyway team came over to London, and they did a demo at this contest. I think it was called Hole Shot, something like that.
Whole shot.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Whole shot.
And I was working, I was like the art director for BMX Action Bike at the time. And so we kind of had access to the Skyway team because we were the magazine. And the contest was rubbish, boring, crap. Oh, did he fall again? Sorry, my dog just fell down. Anyway, yeah, so this contest was rubbish and it was really boring and everything like that. And so they were riding Roman, I think, what was that little blonde bloke that used to do the skinny one? He did the flatland tricks.
Patty Freeman.
Freeman, yeah, I think he was there as well. And they're just doing their tricks and getting ready for the contest. And I think I was in there with Craig Campbell or Jess Dorenforth. And I just kind of made up wall rides like in Highgate and later at South Bank we did it. And I remember just like he was there, Roman, and then just doing a wall ride, mash, like so rude and crude and bad. And I'm just on it for a second and I almost fell off and everything like that. And then he was like, wow. And then he started doing it. And it was really cool. And then he went back to America after that and he got a photograph of him doing it in Freestyling magazine. I'd already actually had a published photograph of it in BMX Action Bike, which was the first ever published vertical wall ride photograph. But then he went back and did it in Freestyling. And so it's cool because he kind of got credited as inventing it. And then when Dom did his book, what was that book he did, Dom's book?
The birth of the freestyle movement.
Yeah, in that one, they interviewed him and he was super cool. And he was like, you know, Nick Phillips showed me how to do this. And he gave me the kind of like the shout out. He's a really nice guy, Eddie Bone, like a solid guy. But yeah,
we had him on the show with Scotty Freeman. Just it's actually on our YouTube channel right now, so you can check it out. It's a couple episodes ago. But it's Factor Freestyle, not Factor Fiction. And they talked about going and meeting Benny Hill, and yeah, it's some good stuff.
They met.
Yeah.
No way, man.
Because Craig Campbell was the stunt guy, and he was doing wall rides on trees, like as Benny Hill. We have the footage. You can find it on YouTube. It's so funny.
Yeah, check out the YouTube.
Yeah, Benny Hill. Yeah.
No. Hey Nick, that's a great story though. Thank you so much, because that's come up in various different episodes about who did what when and when do you get credit, and it, like everyone's like, who really cares? Like people make up the same trick, but there's been some common threads that have run through. So Joe, what's the next one that you have for Mr. Wilkerson? Let me just ask you a question. What was that feeling like when you saw the first, well, some people call it 360 wall ride, other people call it 540 wall ride, but when Craig Campbell, yeah, at Meet the Street.
Yeah. I mean, off the hook, amazing. Campbell kind of had like a couple of amazing, just incredible years. Like, you know, Einstein wrote like 2 of his big papers in 1 year, and it was like a magical year. Like Campbell had a certain period of time where he was just unbelievable. He accelerated and took things to this incredible way. I mean, I always felt like when I rode with Craig, you know, I came up with some good ideas and did a few things, but he just had the talent and the raw skill to make it amazing and take it to another level and just be so brilliant. I mean, very inspiring person to be around, just very, very natural, a bit like kind of Dominguez a bit, you know what I mean? Just like, he doesn't even have to try, man. You know, just this really, 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 you know, just an amazing guy. And we worked together. He worked for Anarchic Adjustment for a while, and we went to Japan together. And I mean, it was interesting because we got into kind of club culture and then, you know, streetwear and stuff together, because there was when I was working at Action Bike, when it was kind of Action Bike turning into Rad, we got a phone call from this random DJ that said, oh, we're doing a club and we need some people to ride their bikes inside the club, because it was actually a theater, and so they needed a certain amount of time of live acts. Really, they just wanted DJs, I mean, and music acts. So they got like Run DMC and LL Cool J and the Beastie Boys and all that would play live, but they needed a certain amount of time that wasn't music. So they just said, can you ride your bike? So we rode our bikes. I had a half pipe set up in this club called Delirium. So in our crews, like Jess Dyrenforth, myself, Craig Campbell, Damon Nichols, Tony McKenzie, Damon was actually too young to legally even be in the club. They had to get some weird, like kind of scoopy exception for him. So we got really involved in London club culture very, very early. Like we were super young, 16, 17. So it was just this really interesting thing that happened where we were riding BMX and getting kind of influenced by the skateboarders in South Bank. So we kind of got into that street thing. And then because we were riding our bikes in what ended up being the best hip hop club in London for a short period of time, Dave Durrell was DJing there and Tim Cimarron was there. We got this huge influence of like fashion. So we kind of put fashion and streetwear and everything together. And then when we came over to America, when I was like working for freestyling and staying with, you know, Lou and Spike and those guys, we kind of, we brought a little bit of that flavor with us. And so it was really fun when we were at Wizard and, you know, with these guys and up, you know, up in Northern California and everything, Van der Speck, you know, it just was this really super creative moment. And Craig was a person that he kind of embodied a lot of that shit. Super stylish guy, super brilliant on a bike, wicked DJ. He became a kind of known DJ for a while when he stopped riding, went back to England, and true story. Yes. Yeah. He's that legendary, man. He is. So to answer your question, what did I feel? I felt blown away and amazed, but, you know, not surprised. No. If anyone to do it, it'd be Craig Campbell, man.
Yeah.
Really.
Nice. Thanks so much for that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I have to blame Nick and Craig being such a crappy flatland rider because I was too busy trying to like ride walls and trees instead of
flatland.
I also got sucked into being like a techno musician at the same time, and I basically left bikes behind. So I was much better at pressing buttons than keeping my foot on a peg.
So we were hearing this story of tour trauma, and that a side effect of Dave's tour trauma is that he's blocking some things from his memory. And one of those things. Oh, okay. So you have not heard of tour trauma and its effect on Dave's memory?
I might have been a part of it, but I don't.
All right. Well, you were upstream. There was one story about you being upstream of this tour trauma. And Dave, where was you guys were driving in Myrtle Beach? Can you kind of tee this up for us?
Yeah, with
Wait, I went in jail in Myrtle Beach, not you, Dave. Trauma for me going to jail. Oh, because you missed me, maybe.
Because I missed you. Yeah, because you were in jail for riding your bike on the sidewalk.
Yeah, and you felt so bad that I had got busted for it that you had trauma. Okay.
That's one level, but there's more I think that Joe has dug up. But
really?
I'll just give you a reference point. So you remember Myrtle Beach, obviously. This was the year that Rich Segier was with Team Murray.
All right. So apparently there was this guy named Mike Saris who invented balance trick combos. And we hear that you saw that, and for the rest of the tour, you were goading Dave to learn combo balance tricks so that he could get the coverage in the magazine and actually get the sequence shots.
All my kind of all my balance moves that I would do on the front wheel, crawling around in the handstand, and then this guy came up and he actually pulled us over. He was I don't know. Do you remember what the message said, Joe? He was like
he was a cop or something, or
yeah, and he pulled over the Haro van and he was in fatigues. He's in the Army, and he pulled us over in Myrtle Beach, and then he started doing Flatland. And Ron, you pulled me out of the van. You're like, "Oh, watch this guy, and you're like, "Why can't you do this? Come on, like this guy's killing it on the Flatland." Do you remember this?
I remember that. Yeah.
That sounds
cool.
But
he does.
But most likely, I was saying that just to give him props.
Yeah, that might be
okay.
And just kind of like words you say to give people props.
Wait a second, Dave. You got this all backwards. Ron was giving Mike props, and you thought that Ron was giving you shit.
Yeah, I guess I just took it the wrong way.
This is very freeing for you. You didn't need to feel this way for 30 years.
Thank you.
It could have been both. I
could have been both. Yeah.
Give Dave at the same time as giving him props. It's like a dual purpose thing.
I said it should be called therapy or freestyle, I think.
Yeah, there you go.
Trauma intended, Dave.
You know, I've got a question for you. Sorry to hijack this quickly. You know, when you did that peg grind, and I think it was the first time I'd seen an actual peg grind published in a magazine, and I think it was on like a Hermosa or Redondo or something, and it's on one of those concrete bench or something. But I remember you did it, because I did it on 2 pegs. I remember showing RL Osborne it once, and my pegs almost fell off, and he thought I was a total idiot. He's like, "Who the fuck is this guy?" And then you did it afterwards on 1 peg on your wheel, and that got over the friction problem.
On a feeble. Yeah.
Is that what it's called? Feeble?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. So did you make that up then? Or did you see someone else do that?
It's funny because I remember hearing the idea of a peg grind or just sliding our pegs. I remember hearing that idea, and then I would ride down at Embarcadero in San Francisco, and there was there was a perfect part where the ramp goes down, and then there's a little planter on the side that starts at the same level and then gets bigger as the ramp goes down. So you could just ride up to it and slide on your peg and get right into a grind without hopping. And then some skater was going by and they're like, "Oh, cool, feeble." And then
wow. Okay. So was that where the photograph was taken? Do you remember the photograph I'm talking about? I'm sure there was a photograph of you doing a grind in, I think it was in Freestyling or some magazine, and it was like the first time I'd ever seen anyone do it on a BMX.
It might have been Embarcadero. It might have been.
Fact or freestyle? The Gumby vendetta.
Okay, Joe, what do you got for Ron?
Okay, so Ron, this one we gave it a name. It's called the Gumby vendetta, and Dave denies this one,
Joe,
but we have to run it by
one.
people.
The Gumby what?
The Gumby vendetta.
Oh, okay.
So Dave is so here's the situation. Dave is getting increasingly irritated as we go through the show, asking guys questions about who did what first, because they're saying that if you get it in a magazine first, then you claim the trick. So Nick, you with the wall ride, and Vic Murphy with the foot plant tail whip on the wall. But if we follow all of that, then Dean Palacio invented what's known as the Nourie handstand.
Whoa. Wow.
Because
Dean
won't
Palacio,
let this one go to rest. You just won't let it rest.
Because Dave, tell him the timeline of what happened in that contest.
We've covered this so many times that he's just like beating a dead horse. But basically what happened was, in my first contest, I was in novice, and I was trying not to watch the riders in front of me because I was so nervous. I happened to look up, and this guy, Dean Palacio, who was from San Diego, was in a Nourie handstand, well, what I was calling a Nourie handstand. And he was doing it in the contest, and it was before me. And I ended up doing it and did really well. I got first place. He's a ramp rider, first off. And then the magazine comes out, and it's a picture of me just like with my headshot, just with the thumbs up. And next to me is Dean Palacio doing the Palacio handstand. So all these years, I've been calling it the Nourie handstand when he did it in the contest first, and he got it in the magazine first. So I kind of have to resign to the true facts here.
Well, I wouldn't say that's facts. That's like hearsay.
No, I have the magazine.
But you did it though.
This is a fairy tale.
I mean, that's if you go by the rule of whatever gets published first, invented it.
Well, Joe thinks that.
So this is what happened with the Gumby. Okay, 2 months. It was 2 months between that contest and the next contest when the Gumby was invented. No one in San Diego had seen him for 2 months. He shows up at the other contest just before. Dave, why don't you tell them the story of what happened 10 minutes before the Gumby was debuted at that contest?
So literally my mom was taking pictures, and I'm doing the handstand with the bike on the pedal. And she's like, "Hey, take a hand off." So I figured out how to lay on the bike and take a hand off. And I'm like waving, she's taking pictures, and I'm literally like right before my run. And then I got tired. So I twisted my body around, and I put my arm through, put my leg up. And she's like, "What was that?" I'm like, "I'm just goofing off, Mom." She's like, "No, that was amazing. You have to do that." And she's like, "No." I'm like, "No, I don't think it's even a trick." She's like, "You have to do that." So that was the first trick that I did in the contest, which is now called the Gumby. Now Joe's got some crazy story that I made that up months.
So I do not believe that he invented, because who invents a trick 10 minutes before their run? I think that he worked on this trick for 2 months, and he made this story that he invented it 10 minutes before because he's so good. These legendary tricks that are named after him just They just happened 10 minutes before a run. So that's the Gumby vendetta. And Dave denies that he actually studied and worked it.
Totally going to start
The
using that
Gumby
now.
vendetta.
Wow, is that on Wikipedia? You got to put it on. Yeah, man. Seriously.
Oh, don't give Joe any more ideas.
Well, if it's on Wikipedia, it would then be truth, right?
Yep.
Friction.
Ron, what do you know about the Gumby? Like, do you know how that was created? What do you think about this crazy factor freestyle? Joe thinks I made up the Gumby just to get back at Dean because Dean got the first trick, the handstand, in the magazine first. Is that factor freestyle?
I only know about the first naked Gumby. I only know about the first naked Gumby. I only know about the first naked Gumby.
Ron, this is not for that. This
actually is the right time.
No, Joe, don't go.
I only know that one. I don't know the origins of the Gumby.
This is when Ron starts telling crazy stories. Exactly. Joe. Just take this all with a grain of salt. I mean,
the naked Gumby's the one that penetrated his memory the most.
No, actually, I don't. Dave, you remember this? We were doing a live show in Germany on TV, and it was a live show, and we were talking about, Dave, go do a naked Gumby right now. Do you remember that?
No, I don't remember that at all, Ron.
I can't believe it. I mean, you don't.
Ron,
and we were cracking up. You and me and Brian were dying talking about Dave's gonna do a naked Gumby, and we were like dying in this live show in Germany.
Oh, wait a minute now. Wait a minute. And then wasn't Brian gonna give me his truck? He had the Nissan lower truck.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Yes.
And
I was gonna give you his truck if you did a naked Gumby. What was I gonna give you? I
think you were gonna give me cash, Ron. You were just gonna give me like $1,000 or something, which back then was.
And I would have too. Yep.
Does the offer still stand? I mean, Dave, you can get a car and $1,000.
Yeah. Well, sure.
Sure. I don't think we're going there, guys.
Next time you're on a live TV broadcast, pull it out and we'll buy a lower truck and give it to you since you pipe.
Okay, I have a funny story because is this the book that Nick was talking about?
Yep, that's it.
Dom's book?
No, that's
no. Someone was talking about freestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Paint that they did the party for, and it was in that really buckly box, and we all a bunch of us did artwork with the number plates.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, that was cool, man.
So let me tell you the story about this book when this arrived. So we all got them in the mail, and Wilkerson called me up and said, oh my gosh, did you get your book? And I think I got it, but I hadn't opened it yet or something. He's like, you have to see it. You got the best picture ever. And he was like more stoked than I could ever imagine. And I was like, what? I'm flipping through it. I'm trying to find my picture. And there, well, it's got autographs all over it, but it's just.
You can't see it. Bring it closer.
Really. Can you zoom up just on him?
Oh, there we go. Hold on a second. Oh, there it is.
That's the first Gumby. Or no, that's the.
Now this is at a show, but all it is like pavement, 2-page spread, and then one picture of the Gumby.
Wait, put it closer. So Nick can see it.
Wow.
That's the Gumby right there.
Oh, the Gumby. Remember that, man. Wow.
So
you put that one up then, the Gumby, did you?
I think Dean Palacio made that one up. Right, Joe?
No, Dean Palacio did not make up the Gumby. Dean Palacio never did the Gumby, and you made sure of that.
Dave made it back at Dean Palacio, right?
Instead of me.
That's what Joe thinks. Yeah, Joe thinks I have this vendetta against Dean Palacio, which we had on the show. And Dean's like, no, Dave, that was your trick. I just did it. I saw you do it in Mission Beach. Anyhow, let's move on because this is a sore subject for me, and Joe's trying to get my goat. So go ahead, Joe.
So,
wait, cut.
bad for you because I'm sure you guys are not as close. I give you a lot of props for putting up with Joe as frequently as you do because he can be that dude. I was roommates with him 30 years ago for a couple of years, and it was quite the wild ride. But I can only imagine, you being virtual with him, like you get enough exposure to his antics.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, James McGraw said I was the biggest pain in the ass that ever happened to Flatland.
Okay, so give Wilkerson. I think you have one last one, don't you?
Yeah, so we have this idea, Ron, we want to pitch you on. So the RL show is coming up, and this is the show that we recorded on Monday. The very next day, he snapped the head tube off of his re-welded Haro doing front hops. So it is a very anticipated show. We're selling ad space, and we think that now is the time for you to reissue the Wilkerson Airlines, because with the Haro reissue, okay, that the timeline works out. That's kind of when you splintered off from Haro and did Wilkerson Airlines. And we think that if you can help with the stickers, then we'll just get Skyway to make these.
No, it's already kind of in the works. We're gonna get the actual builder that made every single Wilkerson airline to do it.
Really?
USA made, and we're gonna do like
American made,
a limited edition.
Bloody hell, that's gonna be expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
But yeah, the same dude that welded every single wall frame. I got in contact with him about doing a reissue. Mm-hmm.
I think.
Well, there you go.
Is that fact or is that Wilkerson?
Friction.
Not friction. That's fact.
Seriously?
It's Fact or Wilkerson. That's the name of the show now. It's not Fact or Freestyle. It's Fact or Wilkerson.
Oh.
Question to the group or whatever. Quick. Do people ever like get like a frame of fork set and mount it into like a shadow box as a piece of art? Has anyone ever done that, or is that something that people do?
Quite a lot.
Absolutely.
Quite a lot. More so now because we're people are getting aged and they're getting money and they're getting divorced and they have room in their house.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so Wilkerson, we're going to put you as the headline sponsor. We'll send you the contract. We'll get you on Factor Freestyle, Factor Wilkerson. We'll name it whatever you want to because you'll be the first sponsor. We're going to put it out to our audience. And just so you know, like these numbers, it's kind of scary. Joe, what was it? Last time we looked, I think we have 17 subscribers to our channel. We are the video we just printed. I know it's been like, how many months? 12 months, like 12 months. So that's more than one per month of subscribers. Our last view, we had Matt Hoffman and Vic. We got 43 views on that episode. I mean, I swear, Joe, you can contest it. I sent you that snapshot. So
it's the magic number. If you look at the graph of Warren Buffett's wealth growing, it goes like this, and then it goes like this. So we are right here.
Yeah, it's going to explode. And so, Ron, we're thinking long term. We're thinking like 30 years from now, people are going to be wanting these Wilkerson Airlines just to put up on, like what Nick was saying, just to put up on their wall. So
it's a frame within a frame. It's just a meta concept, man. It's too champion. That's
and so this is ground floor opportunity, Wilkerson, for you. And I know you're a businessman, so you have a good knack for that. So
massage that good back right there.
Factor Freestyle, brought to you by Wilkerson Airlines. Oh, that sounds so good, Joe.
It does a wonderful ring to it.
Brought to you by Wilkerson Airlines.
Do you guys know Dom?
Oh yeah, Dom.
Yeah.
He's working on yet another book, so we're supposed to do a call with him soon to share more tour stories.
Cool. Yeah, he's a solid guy, man. Really good guy.
Okay, Ron. What do you have for us? What's jogged your memory? Come on, you got some stories that came about. Matt passed out and they slept in the streets in New York because they didn't have a place to stay. This is whatever, 87. No, probably later. It would have been later because he wasn't on Haro or anything, right? So, and Dennis took his $800, and then Matt tells the story. We just posted this. It's got 43 views, so you can be the 44th.
You serious? It has 43 views. You need to do a screenshot of that, man.
I did. Didn't I send it to you, Joe?
You sent it to me. I framed it and I put it in a shadow box.
So here's the story, though. Then Matt goes on to say that he went with Dennis. He flew back home. He was there with New York doing the whole New York scene. They went back to wherever they're going, Oklahoma. Dennis waited till they got off the plane and said, here's your $800. It wasn't stolen. I took it from you.
I completely believe that. I wasn't hesitant a second.
Tell us a story about Dennis McCoy, some of the recent time, because you traveled with him recently in Brazil, didn't you?
Yeah, we went to Brazil, and it was pretty awesome because everybody would come up and talk to him and ask him questions, and then I would just get left alone. It was kind of cool. But yeah, Dennis McCoy. No, we had a good time just riding every day. In fact, he got to ride the perfect bowl, and I had hurt my wrist the day before. I didn't get to ride it. That was the worst part of the whole trip. But anyways, my own thing.
We heard that Dennis McCoy always locks the bathroom door. Is that true?
Dennis or me?
Dennis. We heard that Dennis is paranoid of people in hotels.
That's another story I wouldn't doubt for a second either. Even though I never tested it. Next trip I'll get back to you on that one. I'll test it.
Excellent.
Because we're gonna make another trip one of these days. We were supposed to last year, but I was too busy with a girl I was schmoozing, so I couldn't go on the trip. But we're gonna make another one because we're still alive, both of us. It'll happen, and then I'll test that bathroom thing.
Tell us about Myrtle Beach, because you have some connection with Myrtle Beach and balconies. I think there's some correlation there. Balconies at Myrtle Beach. So tell me.
You guys were all in the hotel room drinking and stuff, and me and Spike were the only ones that didn't drink. So we left and we went pool crashing. And there's a million balcony bowl pools in Myrtle Beach, a million. And we would just go from one to the next, like climbing up to the roof or whatever and jumping into the pool and getting chased out by people.
Wait, so just for our audience, Ron, let me interrupt. How many floors? I mean, this is second floor, third floor. Like, what's your highest floor that you've jumped off of, balcony?
Oh, well, there's one that was documented actually in Ride UK in Portugal. I think it was like 8.
8?
Yeah.
See, I was saying 5, so that's the factOrFreestyle. Did Wilkerson jump off of 8 balcony?
Yeah.
Okay.
Got a photo of it, and it's like a photo of me in the air jumping into this pool in Portugal.
Wow. Okay, so back to Myrtle Beach. So you and Spike, and you're just going down the line, like the whole strip is hotels, and you're just going one after another.
Perfectly balconyable pools. Yeah, we just went from one to the next. And then I found this one pool that was like a step off, and it was like 6 stories into this pool, and you just step. We didn't have to jump at all; just step off. It was that was amazing.
How deep?
I remember this, Ron. Ron, I remember you would be up on a balcony, and like we'd be in a Holiday Inn, and we'd be like in one of those indoor spaces, and you go climb up on the balcony, and you tell everyone, "Hey, look out!" And everyone didn't believe you. They're like, "What? What?" And I'm like, "Hey, he's serious. You better watch out." And then the next thing you know, you just jump off this. Usually, I saw like 3 stories, maybe 4. Never saw you do 8. That's just like crazy. Yeah, so then what happened in Myrtle Beach afterwards? Then wasn't someone like starting to chase you and they got wind of it? Do you remember that part of the story?
Oh yeah, everyone we get chased out of, like people would try and grab us, but we would be all wet from just jumping in, and then we'd wiggle away and we'd run away.
Why run away?
Because they were trying to chase us. Because we jumped into their pool.
Wow.
But yeah, and then after all that, we got chased away from one, and we were right by our hotel where you guys were all drinking, and we ran into the hotel room, and you guys were all drinking, and I'm like, the police are coming, and I changed my shirt and I went out on the balcony, and then the police came, and they were looking around for me, and they didn't see me, and then they just left.
Well, and Ron, the part that I remember is that your brother, that was the year that Sean was on the tour, and your brother wouldn't let the cops in, and he was like dead set, like he really knew the letter of the law, because he's like, do you have a warrant? You don't have a warrant, you can't come in. And you're sitting on the balcony, so they never actually came into the room. They were right there, and you're just sitting there on the balcony, changed your shirt, still wet. I don't know where Spike was. Spike must have gone somewhere else. And you got away with it. So I do remember that. Sean, you definitely owe your brother for that one.
Yeah, I remember that.
Sean?
Well, I didn't see it though, because I was on the balcony. I just remember hearing it from you guys.
Yeah.
Wait, you owe your brother, Sean?
Yep, he saved me from the police.
How did he say? Wait, what?
The police were chasing me
So.
because I jumped into a pool.
And how did Sean save you?
Because he didn't let them in, and they were coming to look for me.
He knew the law.
Law is that they can't come in your place unless they have a search warrant from a court, and they didn't have a search warrant, so Sean didn't let them in. And then I lived to tell.
You wouldn't be. That wouldn't happen now.
I'd still be in jail.
Wilkerson, can you tell the story the first time that you and Brian did the Air Over 540? Do you remember that enough to share that story?
It was on tour. It was a tour show.
Right?
Where was it? Dave? You probably remember better.
I think it was Rochester, New York. It was either Liverpool or Rochester, New York. And Bill Hawkins had come out. Remember this?
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
See, I told you, Joe. It just takes a little finagling. Okay.
No, it was. Which one's the more west one, Rochester or Syracuse?
Oh, right. I think it was Syracuse then. You're right. I think it was Syracuse.
It was Syracuse, yeah. That's when we did it. Oh, there's a big story of that, but I don't know if it's G-rated.
Oh, well, no, we just want the version of doing the first Aero 540.
Yeah.
And the last time you did it was 2009. And the first time you did it was 87, probably 80.
87? Really?
Yeah. I was thinking about that trick yesterday. I was thinking how cool it'd be to do it when we're like 60.
I know, because the last time you did it was 2009. But I hear that if we get Dom to record it and put it in a book, we'll all be millionaires.
You do it before.
Like it.
Dom, we're talking about Aero 540. The last time it was done between these two, between Brian and Ron, was 2009.
That was in
Germany,
and we missed. His tire missed me coming around by like inches. That was
who went over the top of who?
Well, we've done it both ways before, but normally I go over him.
Where's Caleb?
And ramp in Germany was so horrible. It was just horriblest ramp ever. And we pulled it. That was, and the show was terrible.
How wide was it?
It was like super narrow ramp and super tight and sketchy. And the whole show was horrible. And then we pulled the Aero 540 at the end, and we're like, phew, we saved their show.
So Ron, here's the thing, that I have a photo of you and Brian on the kick turn ramp, and I can probably say like almost to the T exactly how that conversation went. because you were saying, dude, come on, let's do the RL 540. And Brian was saying, you're going like 3 feet, Ron. You can't even hit 3 feet. And you said, dude, I promise I'll pedal as fast as I can and I'll just blast. You just have to get your 540 around. And you convinced him. Do you remember having that conversation?
That vividly, actually. Come on, dude, let's do it. Because I knew we had to save our show.
Because literally you guys were hitting like 3-4 feet. Like that ramp was like the original style ramp.
Every year doing that show, the ramp is horrible, unbelievable bad. But I told Gracie we'd do the show again, but we'll come a week early and build the ramp ourselves.
Yeah.
Where's Caleb?
Dom, we have a Factor Freestyle for you. Welcome to Fact or Freestyle. Some people call it Factor Friction. Some people call it Fact or Wilkerson. Some people call it Fact or Fiction. Many different names, but if you're searching this on the YouTube channel, it's Factor Freestyle.
Fact or freestyle, Bob Harrow is an over gripper.
So is Bob Harrow an over gripper?
That's a good question.
An over gripper.
Yeah. Define over gripper.
Well, what comes to mind when you think of an over gripper?
Caleb, yeah.
They hold their grip too hard and they're obsessed by it.
I would not say there's any evidence of Bob being an over gripper. In my opinion, that is. Ronaldo.
Hey, Dom.com.
Oh yes.
There's Dom right there.
Fucking hell, man. Nice one.
Yo, Nickers.
How you doing, mate? Man,
good man, how you doing?
It's a real pleasure.
Yeah, see him right there.
Where you boys at?
I got X Sanders' friend. Hold on. 1 second.
Man,
Caleb.
this is really going
I already
man.
got it.
I didn't even notice.
Synchronicity accelerometer.
That? I know everybody else, but I knew everybody else, but I was like,
okay, there.
Who's that?
Okay, there. Oh, there's Dom.com. So you don't know if Bob's an over gripper?
I don't know what an over gripper is, so it's quite hard to hard to give Bob that label.
Let me tell you the story, and don't worry, you can edit any of this out, Dom. So it's being recorded. Promise. It's this Joe Sickman. Some people say Sisman, but you have to properly pronounce it. It's Sickman, and he's a Flatlander that I've been hanging out with over the last few years, and he's the one that kind of helped start this show. So when I first met Bob, it was at the small San Diego contest in it's actually Lakeside, California. I just finished my run, and Bob came out because Ron Wilton had left Harrow to go ride with RL at BMX Action. And Ron put in a good word to Bob and said, hey, you should go meet this guy, Dave. He's got some good ground tricks. So I met Bob, and he literally took my hand and just like crushed it. And I had just ridden, so my hands are sore already. And I'm glad that it happened afterwards, because if it would have happened before my run, I would have been toast. So I was sharing this story on our first show, actually, that we had with Pete Augustin, or not our first show, but a show that Pete Augustin was on. And Pete's like, I remember that guy. He did the same thing to me. And he basically said, yeah, he was an overgripper. So we've had a few other people that had said that. And Dom, here, you can relate to this. We started to make the connection, and we want to know why Bob Harrow never made a grip.
Well, he was with Oakley for many years, wasn't he? But just to go back to the overgripper thing very quickly.
Okay.
Bob is more of a fist bump guy these days. So no, I've only known him in the last 10 years. He's more of a kind of boom guy than a traditional handshake guy.
Well, is he an overfister?
He's he's got a big bump on him. He bumps hard. But
you got to prove the manliness.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like a dominance Trumpian kind of thing.
But why he never made a grip? I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. Yeah,
because it was Oakley, and then it was ODI mushrooms. Like that's what he had on his bike.
And he was Amy as well for a little while. I think.
Oh, really?
Amy in the middle. Yeah. I think so. Yeah.
Because I thought Amy was always GT. But
I think I want to say there's a jersey he wore with an Amy badge. I think.
You're right. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Joe. What do you got for Mr. Dom?
Oh, he loves me.
All right, so this is a little piece of trivia, but apparently, so this is it Factor Freestyle that Skyway received a bill from Air Uni for damages to a car when a lot of the Skyway guys who were friends with Tim Tracy assaulted the Air Uni team manager and his car because Air Uni put Tim Tracy's first place trophy in the office and wouldn't give it to him.
Jeez.
Have you heard of this?
I haven't heard of that, but I could find out the answer to that. In fact, we should call Tim Tracy, right?
Yes, we should.
Let me call him and relay that if he'll answer.
Rich Hansen, who worked for Haro, says that he doesn't remember Bob being an overgripper.
Oh, Rich Hansen. Okay.
Yes, I'm just on Signal with him right now, and he says he doesn't remember that.
Okay,
but
so
said that Bob did gently rub his wrist and wink at him.
Your Darwin father, yeah.
No answer.
Joe, you opened up this can of worms, so I'm just saying.
Well, this is why we put this together. There's a lot of mysterious activity going on. We're trying to get to the bottom of.
Okay, so Dom, I've got one for you. So this show has been I guess we started about a year ago, and we're really like, the numbers are crazy. Joe and I were just doing this for the fun of it, but as you know, there's a whole following out there. So literally we have 17 subscribers already, and it's only been a year. So that's like one more than one a month.
That's as many people that buy my book.
Okay, well, okay, so you can relate. And these listeners and this audience is like dedicated. They don't miss a beat. So we launched our episode with Matt Hoffman and Vic Murphy today. And in the first 6 hours, we had 43 views. I swear, there's a screenshot of it. I mean, it's off the hook. So we're coming to you because everything that you've done in the last decade has been amazing. And we've already locked in sponsorship. I can't release it yet because we haven't signed the deal yet, but it's a major, major brand that's coming back.
Factor Freestyle. Factor Freestyle is sponsored by the birth of the freestyle movement. Trademark.
And let me see, how else could, it's nothing to do with hips. No, not anything to do with hips, but it's a brand that I have some good connections with from way back when. And we want to give you the opportunity to be on this ground floor level and sponsor Fact or Freestyle, or we could call it Factor Wilkerson. You know, it doesn't really matter.
I would love to support the effort, however I can.
Joe, it's like taking
Count
candy from a baby.
Count me in.
This is amazing.
I love the premise of the show. I love the guests, in particular this group here.
Yeah, exactly.
So I can be counted on to support in maybe some Vans shoelaces, something like that.
That's a good start. I mean,
I've got
ground floor, so
I've got some Oakley donuts somewhere too.
Yep. Stop.
Count me in, boys. I'd love to be a sponsor of the show in whatever way you see fit.
So just now that we're on board, and I can share this with Ron because Ron, you know, we have a confidentiality agreement already, but we basically are going to, you guys don't know this about Joe, but Joe has been researched, like he's got this whole talk a little bit about your spot and your research that you do in writing and others.
Yeah, so I am the creative director of the Terradome Sports Science Research Center. And what we do is we explore Flatland, and we run experiments on training regimen, and we explore the relation between irrational right-brained. Right now, we're exploring the connection between right-brained irrational internet behavior and riding performance, and it seems to be going pretty well.
Nice.
And you're not letting the cat out of the bag. I feel like this is a comfortable group we can share with. He's been working on subliminal messages, and we're going to do, whoever's on board with the sponsorship, we're going to have, well, you saw the movie that John Bolton's put out about his life.
Yes.
And Haro, I guess, was kind of involved. I couldn't really tell when I watched it. I didn't see like a whole lot of Haro banners and jerseys and everywhere. So it was a bit obvious. So Joe has perfected, and like, I don't know, speaking to you a little bit more about the, I don't know, the trials.
Yeah, got it. So I actually, this thread of research started actually when I was a kid, when I heard stories about Ozzy Osbourne putting subliminal messages into music if you played it backwards. And I thought, wow, it's hard enough to write a great song forwards, but to convince people to go to the devil playing backwards, that's some talent. And so I investigated all of the, techniques that he used. I am bringing those to bear now with factOrFreestyle. And we're going to be doing is embedding, there's going to be subliminal messages to get guys. Basically, we're going to be subliminally encouraging them to buy reissued bike frames and mount them on the wall, but not just one, like 2 or 3 or 4. So it'll work sort of like nicotine.
This is particularly interesting to me because of the line of work I'm in. So I'm enjoying. Yeah, I'd like to see how this works. I like to sell a reproduced frame whenever I can. I particularly enjoyed your recent work, Joe. I just want to put that in there too. On very specific subjects, I've really enjoyed. But yeah.
Do share, Dom. Do share. What specific? Are you talking about? Just some modifications?
Yeah, just some of the stuff I take in. I zoom around on social media like everybody else, and certain things are dear to my heart to see these things happening. And there's something that I've been watching recently that's just been really gratifying. And I take my hat off to you, Joe. Thank you.
So let me tell you this. So a couple things. This show is sort of a nexus of magical occurrences. So first off, we call Ron. Nick is coming over to his house. My friend Todd Sines knows Nick. Nick knows Todd. And it just so happens that last Sunday, Dylan Osborne texts me and says, "Hey, RL." Now, when Dylan talks about this, he doesn't say my dad. He always says RL. And when he talks to his dad, he always calls him by his first name, which is amazing. So, but anyway, she says, "Look, RL would like to have you on the show to have you talk about the Haro, because I have been busting RL's balls for months about this Haro." So he goes, "When can you do it?" He goes, "Either Monday or Friday." I said, "Monday." So midday Monday, he says, when are we going to be on your show? So I had to scroll back and I realized I had committed Dave to doing the show, record like the factOrFreestyle with RL on Monday. We did it. It works great. On Thursday, RL posts, "Oh man, I broke my frame 2 days ago. You're doing front hops. The head tube snapped off." And then on Friday, RL posts his YouTube video, which was, "Hey, I did the show with these guys." So the timeline went, RL gets the frame, cuts it. I bust his balls daily, mercilessly for weeks about this. We get him on the show on Monday. He says great things about us Monday evening. Tuesday, he snaps his frame. We got him at the pinnacle of his stoke before all the air came out. This was 12 hours after we talked to him. The whole fucking thing melted down. You could not roll. We had a handful of dice that we rolled and they all came up 1. How the hell does that happen?
Yeah. That's magic. That's some Aleister Crowley shit over there, man. Like, oh, crazy magic.
The beauty of real-time media, right?
Did you guys do some masking in the interview?
Some what?
Backwards masking in the interview to like jinx it, so that the frame broke the next day?
No,
we're not at liberty to we don't know if that's conclusive. We have a few more experiments to run before
You're
we
gonna
can
get
say that scientifically.
You know, Joe, there's a line. You can't cross that. I keep keeping you in check. Okay. No, we did not,
Yes,
Ron.
I
That's a
could.
very clear no.
My sweet Satan.
Look,
Hmm.
my frame.
My sweet Satan.
My
My sweet.
I think we need to put Dom more on the hot spot. I mean, in the spotlight. Sorry, and just pick his brain a little bit more. So,
factOrFreestyle, the Jose Vendetta.
have you heard about the Jose Vendetta?
No, I've not.
You're kidding me.
What about Gumby vendetta?
Oh, the Jose. Oh, Jose Yanez.
Yes.
Yes.
So
I have.
apparently he did the first tail whip before Brian Blyther got in the magazine. Did you hear about this, Dom?
I didn't hear about that. I heard that he did the first at Bubika though.
Oh, that's yeah,
Whoa,
but
that's
that's
big.
a whole nother.
Yeah.
There's a
He
whole
was into
Wilkerson
lip
vendetta,
tricks.
but we haven't even touched that yet. Yeah, Wilkerson. Look at his action.
The Abubakar vendetta, I think, is what it's called.
Yeah, but let me
It
just
comes
finish the
earlier
Jose.
because it's alphabetical too, so it comes up higher on the
I
Oh,
think
good
of
point.
Jose claims.
That's
Yeah.
who did it. And then that would tell you who did it first.
Exactly.
Say that again, Ron.
From what does it mean, Abubakar? Like, where does it come from?
Oh,
Did
good-
you come up with that?
Good question. No, we were on tour, and Spike was on tour with us, and we were calling Bill. He came visit us. We were calling him the Abubakar, which is tribal leader in African, and we were calling him our Abubakar all for a few weeks on tour. And then I'm like, hey, that'd be a cool name for a trick. And then that same tour, I did the first Abubakar in a show, and then named it the Abubakar.
So you came up with the name, and then you made the trick for the name.
Yeah, I'm like, that'd be a cool name for a trick, Abubakar.
I thought it had something to do with a chambermaid in a hotel.
Who? What? Huh?
Chamber.
If I know, I've got some pictures of that somewhere. Of a chambermaid in a hotel, and
Maybe when Wilkerson got locked up, he was locked up in Myrtle Beach for riding his bike on the sidewalk. Maybe it happened there. Myrtle Beach, is that where it was conceptualized?
No, actually.
Oh. So Dom, let me just finish this vendetta with Jose. So apparently he has some like old footage, like VHS footage of him
Super 8
doing-
footage.
Super
Super
8
8 footage.
Right. Wow.
doing a tail whip, and his foot's a little bit different position or something. And when he saw it in the magazine, he was really bummed that someone else got it. And Brian's story was like, I just was messing around and I just happened to pull it for the magazine, and they named it, right? But Jose has got this thing where he wants to do a tail whip on an electric motorcycle in Baldy Pipe to kind of like flex on Brian.
Like an anniversary of him doing
Yeah,
that.
and that's why he made the backflip up, because he's like, oh, Brian will never learn the backflip, so I'm going to learn the backflip. And like, I don't know, Joe, you have some more insight, I guess, on this as well.
Yeah, so this all happened when Rad got released on streaming. Apparently he's getting royalties and he's getting some money, and he's putting this plan together, his vendetta, this anger that he's held with Brian Blyther for so long for stealing his trick. And Brian Blyther just does
Fact or freestyle. Brian Blyther made up tail whip 10 minutes before a photo shoot after getting the idea from his mom.
Brian Blyther just does say that he made up the tail whip 10 minutes before the photo shoot. We've heard that before.
Similar to my story, Joe. Oh, I see where you're going.
The parallels are very, very creepy here. But anyway, so Jose says, look, I'm going to do a trick that Brian is never going to do. And that's what he invented, the backflip. Now, Jose actually says that he spent more than 10 minutes inventing the backflip. But he's not getting the credit. They don't call it the Jose flip. They call it the backflip. And so he's tired of being, historically marginalized, and he's going to get the Travis Pastrana bar spin bike, and he's going to do a tail whip in Baldy Pipe. to flex on Brian. So we had heard lots of this. Have you guys heard any of this?
I knew that Blyther did the tail whip, kind of endo tail whip or whatever it was on the ground. Yeah. In fact, I think I got a picture of him doing it on a PK Ripper. So I was aware that Brian was the origin guy for that. Yeah. But Jose, I don't know.
Tail whip? He's not even a flatland rider. What the fuck? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Go.
Well, he got in the magazine first. I don't know if that means he made it up, but
that's what happened. I mean, he got in the magazine first. And
about getting stuff in the magazines first. They're all a bunch of wankers, those guys, man.
I like that first wall ride in the magazine, though, Nick.
Yeah.
So
that's dodgy.
But didn't
Photoshop, man?
Didn't Maurice Meyer do the first wall ride? That's what I heard.
He probably did. I'm sure he did. I mean, it seems unlikely that we did it in London before California, but we do have the photographical evidence printed for all that.
The NFT proves it.
Yeah. I actually made an NFT of the wall ride of me riding at South Bank in that first published session with the barbed wire around my bike.
Great shot.
Which we got actual complaints. Like some people, a woman complained and wrote a letter to Action Bike saying, you know, you're a really bad influence on kids for putting barbed wire on a bike because it could like injure a kid. They could cut themselves on the barbed wire. But actually the barbed wire was fake barbed wire that I bought at like a prop shop. So it was plastic. It was actually fake. And so we had to like reply and take a photograph of it and everything like that. Because it's such bad influences, man.
Kids is not real barbed wire.
We got to give Joe, we got to give Dom some more because he's a resource that I know he's a little tight-lipped, but I think if he feels comfortable, he'll open up to some Factor Freestyle.
I know a lot of useful and useless stuff. Yeah.
Well, have you heard this one?
All right, Factor Freestyle. Joe Johnson had ants in his pants when he invented the vert tail whip.
Joe Johnson had ants in his pants when he invented the vert tail whip.
I hadn't heard it, but I can see that could be the case. He invented that. Ron, did he invent that trick on the Lucadia ramp?
What
The secret ninja ramp.
Ants or what color? Red ants or the ones that bite? Ones.
So
Red
apparently,
ants.
Red ants.
Matt
He
Hoffman
wasn't
talks
aware of
about
that.
it. Yeah, Matt Hoffman talks about it. We have that episode with
I shot
43 views.
And
And Matt said that he had a whole bunch of ants and he just dumped them out. He wanted to see some tricks, so like step it up, and that's what twitched enough for him to pull it. Joe denies it. Joe denies it, and we're trying to, seek counseling, try to see if we can support, but he denies it.
We're trying to make him feel comfortable. We want him to know that he's going to be accepted.
Yeah.
So Factor Freestyle, Dom.
I want to say that's a fact.
Okay.
And that's a hunch.
Okay.
Because it sounds totally believable.
Caleb's coming.
Hey, Wilkerson, I have one for you. Factor Freestyle. Lee Rentals has some samplings of the original Lucadia tree, and he's planted like a forest of them up in the Northern California area, and he's going to recreate the enchanted ramp. Is that Factor Freestyle?
Well,
the diaspora of the tree. Wow.
I don't know, considering the tree was not alive, the enchanted tree. It was more like,
why was it called enchanted?
Because
was it magical?
It was enchanted.
Wow.
That's why that was the legend.
Were a lot of tricks invented there at that place? I know it was so legendary. Like everyone, we all heard all about it in the UK. Like, all kind of like it was. Did you just have mad sessions there all the time?
Yeah, it was
all night
like
and stuff like that.
It was like an early BMX days half pipe that they didn't really exist much.
Right.
Exit 43 as well.
Oh, you're joking. That's a joke, isn't it? Are you fucking serious?
No, that's true.
That's a fact, right?
Wow,
Yeah.
that's just.
So, and didn't I believe this is, I'm not sure if this is Factor Freestyle. You guys can chime in, and you probably would know. But Hoffman's dad secured Craig Rosso's Life's a Beach sponsorship at that contest.
I just remember when he tried to throw Craig Ross off the ramp naked after his naked.
Oh yeah, remember that?
You tried to throw him off the ramp?
Yeah, everyone was dying. It was like the funniest thing you ever seen. He did a naked run. And
was that videoed or photographed?
I don't even know.
That was legendary.
It was
Everyone
a naked run.
on
He was
that.
doing a naked run.
He had a pair of high tops on though.
Yeah, high tops and naked. And then Matt Hoffman's dad didn't like it, and he went on top of the ramp and like tried to throw him off. So I don't think Life's a Beach, that was anything, the impetus of Life's a Beach sponsor.
I remember it's a funny Life's a Beach story actually. We were at
Wait, Nick, before you tell the story, look at this picture.
Oh. Wait, he's got his glasses.
Can you see it?
Oh yeah, I remember that now. Yeah. He did have high tops on. Yeah.
Ron, what was the atmosphere like when this guy's riding? He's doing all his tricks. Were people just going crazy? What was the...
I think I was at that contest actually.
Everyone was laughing as hard as you've ever laughed before. For reals, like everyone was just rolling. It was.
I think I was there actually.
It was a moment in time, and everyone was there experiencing it, except Matt's dad.
Except Matt's dad.
Yeah.
Okay, Nick. Yeah. So, what was your Life's a Beach story?
So Action Sports Retailer trade show. Remember that in San Diego?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So we kind of we came over a bunch of times in a little group and went to the Action Sports Retailer before a bunch of us moved out to California, and we would come over and get really, really crazy at the show, drinking, mental and everything like that. And one time we hooked up with Doze Green because he was a Life's a Beach artist, and there was another guy, I'm trying to remember his name now, but they had a hotel room in the hotel that was somehow affiliated with the trade show. And they were like, yeah, come up to our hotel, and we've got like a mini bar, you can have some of it, right? So it was myself, Craig Campbell, I don't think Dave Curry was there, and it was Doze Green and at least one other artist.
Is it Mouse the other guy?
Yeah, I think it might have been him actually, yeah. And so we're drinking, just having a few drinks, and then suddenly, spontaneously, someone, I forget who it was. I don't know if it was like one of the English lot or one of the Life's a Beach lot, but someone poured a beer into the television, just a little bit back of the TV. And so the TV was some crappy infomercial or something, and he just started like wobbling or weird, like it was like a Namjoon Pike fucking sculpture or something, right? And so that's really cool, man. And we did it again, and a little bit like that. And then honestly, this is honestly true. Suddenly, everyone in the room went mental, and we just started smashing up the room. And because they were graffiti artists, they started spraying the room. I think some stuff went out of the window, and the pillow, everything, like it was total Led Zeppelin style, man. Just like mashed the whole thing. We got out, we were, pretty drunk or whatever. It just like spontaneously exploded, and we just wrecked this room. And then, Craig and I were like, all right, cool, see you later, guys. And we just took off, right? And then I remember at the next trade show, 6 months later, right? That Mouse bloke come up to me, and he was super pissed. He's like, I had to pay $5,000 out of my wages that was docked every month for like 6 months, and you owe money. And I was like, look, you started it, man. I think it was actually him who put it in first. I was like, you started it, man. And total Led Zeppelin madness. Yeah, those ASRs were so legendary, man. Like some of the stuff that we did there was just so crazy. It was. Did you ever go to any of those? They were crazy. Yeah, yeah. I remember our friend, this guy Stephen Baldry, who's part of our London crew. He used to do a thing. He used to jump off balconies, but onto the ground, the flat, no swimming pool. Honest. Yeah, he was like a really tall, lanky bloke. He used to ride BMX a little bit, and then he made those crazy hats. Like, remember in the beginning of the rave scene in Los Angeles, people used to wear those like Dr. Zeusy hats. He was the one that started it. And he had this thing where he would do balcony jumps. We'd go to clubs in London. He would find the balcony and jump off. He was really tall. He was like almost 7 feet tall. He was like it almost looked like an NBA basketball player or something. And yeah, one time at ASR, there was, because where the bar was, there was like a mezzanine above it. Oh, this was so crazy, man. And so we all got, it had been like 1 or 2 trade shows, so everyone was getting each other to more psyched up to go more mental, right? Yeah. And so this time, out of the gate, like half an hour in, before even that mashed up, like Baldry had done like a balcony jump, and the security people at the hotel knew us from the last time, so they immediately ejected him, right? And then, like, because we were in a little posse, Bob Schmelzer, I don't know if you know him, he was Circle A skateboards, you know him?
Yeah.
Circle A, yeah, in San Jose, yeah, who ended up being a crazy raver. He and I got into all kinds of stuff. He was so mad at the security guard for kicking Baldry out for doing a balcony jump very early in the proceedings, that he got up on the balcony, he did a wee on the blood security guard, man. He pissed on the security from the
oh my gosh.
Yeah, he got kicked out. It escalated more and more, where there was actually like some kind of mini riot, actually. I don't know what happened. There was some kind of weird thing. I don't know, some surfers joined in or something like that. And I remember everyone was like, where is Dave Curry? Because he was the maddest of all of us. Like, there was all of us, and then there was Dave Curry, and he was just in a level of madness that was beyond. And he was like missing all this crazy stuff going on. Baldry kicked out, Schmelzer pissing on the security guard, everything like that. And then I remember Craig and I went to the elevator, and Curry was in the elevator, and he'd actually dragged a couch out of a room, one of the hotel rooms, and 2 potted plants, and was going up and down the elevator smoking weed in the elevator with a couch he pulled out with 2 plants. And this was back like 1987 or 80, really mid to late 80s, so it's fully illegal to be smoking marijuana. And I remember, so he's doing that, and then one of the other security guards, who was like a cool security guard, he came in, and we were like, oh my god, Curry's gonna get busted, like we're fucked. And then Curry just looked at the guy, and it was one of those moments, and he just gives the spliff to the security guard, and the security guard goes, hey, cheers, man. And just gives it back to him, and it was fun. That's so Dave Curry, man. Like, and I remember Craig and I just like, oh, I couldn't fucking believe it. And then we just got off at the next stop, and Curry kept on. I don't know, he stayed in there. Yeah, that's
so good. I love that story. That's awesome.
Totally true, man. Absolutely. Yeah.
Facts.
Crazy those days. I can't believe I'm still alive.
I've got a factor freestyle for Wilkerson.
We've got a whole list.
Oh wait, I should just do this one to Dom, and then Wilkerson can correct it. Okay, so factor freestyle.
There we go.
I was going to do this to Dom, and then you can verify. Factor freestyle, Dom. Did Mr. Wilkerson provide cannabis plant to Run DMC in France?
Again, I'd be guessing. I'd say it was fact.
Wilkerson?
Yeah.
Close.
Close. It was Wilkerson. It was, in fact, it was Wilkerson. What happened, Wilkerson, in Paris, France, when Run DMC was on tour in 1987?
No, we were doing a photo shoot right near the Eiffel Tower, and Run came by, and Brian Blether's like freaking out. He's like, Run DMC, and he's freaking out. And then they were asking us if we knew where they could get some spliffs, and we didn't, so we didn't provide them anything, but they asked.
And
So
and I thought it was kind of unique that they asked Wilkerson. They didn't ask Brian or I. And Brian and I would be more likely to have some kind of source or connection at that time, at that era of our life. But they asked
religion days of my life.
Yeah, your religion days. Yeah.
I remember those. I think I helped influence that in a direction, man. Rave, maybe. I don't know. Maybe you remember that. Maybe. You know.
It's probably well underway.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on.
Wilkerson's.
Jake's just calling. Jake Ortiz.
Mandrake, be good.
Dom, do you have any factor freestyles that you would like to get cleared up? Because you've been, doing this research and getting data. Have you heard some stuff that, this is a good format that it can start? It may take us 6 months, and we'll be at like probably 30 subscribers at that point. But we could definitely do some research for you.
I might need a minute to come up with
Okay.
a good one. Let me.
I've got
my.
You think about it.
Nick can be the time filler.
Okay, so fact or freestyle, right? Did Mike D from the Beastie Boys try to ride my bike on stage at Delirium and fall over the handlebars because he had a coaster brake and he couldn't ride coaster?
I think that's freestyle. I think he did a Vanderroll off the stage.
You're right. It is freestyle. It wasn't Mike D. It was Ad Rock.
Was it? That's a good twist. I like the twist. I like the little twist. That's good.
Okay, I've got one.
Okay, Dom.
This is more kind of like general BMX, but there's a freestyle connection.
Okay.
Did Bob Osborne buy a Porsche 911 for 2 members of his staff at Wizard in 1985?
I would say that's fact.
That is true.
Wow.
Wow.
Bought 2 people? Didn't Elvis used to do that? Like buy cars for his posse or something?
Yeah, I can believe that.
Do that. You used to buy or something.
Yeah.
Is that the car that Woody put his trick star in?
Your name?
Nick.
It could be. The story goes that Oz was coming down into the Cashel Street, kind of like garage where he parked his 930 Porsche, whatever it was. And 2 members of his staff were there, and they were looking at his car, and they were like, getting crazy about his car. So he said, "You know what? I could just get you guys one each, and you can pay me back through your salary." And he did that afternoon. He went and traded his 930 in for a new one and bought 2 other 911s for 2 staff members who I'm not exactly sure it was, but I think I know, but I wouldn't want to speculate who it was. But
no, speculate. We need to speculate.
Not a family member. I know that. So,
Wasn't there a famous picture of someone jumping over Ozzy's?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oz Jannard and also Lynn Caston's Porsche. Yeah, that was Stu Thompson.
Okay, I got a factor freestyle. This is good because there is talk about more companies coming back into the this scene with some retro, and they're going to bring back the Huffy Tuffy. Did
What's
you guys
that?
hear anything about that? It's a frame that's made out of the tough wheel material.
Really?
I don't know if he's taking the piss or not. I just can't tell. Fucking delivery is so dead, man. It's just don't. Is it? is it fact or is it mad? And I can't tell. It's fucking
Like Dom, you might have heard that because you're connected. Huffy Tuffy. We've
Yeah,
had some Skyway. Oh wait, what has he got? He's got a tough neck there?
This is my current sponsor.
I can't see what it says. Does it say tough neck? Oh, Redline. Okay, got it.
Does that have a
So
Putz
it's
mod?
Redline, Joe. It's not Skyway.
Yeah, there's always some angle.
Always.
It's mostly right.
The,
So does
the
that
only, well, the problem is that you have to take the bike when you tweak it and you have to put it in a big enough freezer so it will straighten out. Remember that? You have to do that with the Z-ring.
I remember that. You put them in the freezer and they go, what? Oh, no. How about those Z rims though? Remember those? And they used to flex and they used to snap all the spokes every time.
Yeah.
Did that happen to you?
Oh
They
yeah.
said snap them off and they'd never give you back on the guarantee, man. Everyone had them for like a week and then that was it.
Yeah. That's about how long I was sponsored by them. For, too. I couldn't even use those.
Yeah. I mean, it was fun bending them though, like the first couple of times.
Okay, so I have another one, Wilkerson, because you're in the the NorCal area and you know Maurice Meyer. Factor Freestyle. Did Maurice Meyer secure a protection sponsorship from a company that made condoms in England?
That sounds like a story Draw would make up. So it could
Joe,
be-
do you remember? Because
be
we had
fact-
Maurice on.
fact that Maurice made up that story. That's a fact. But I don't know if that's true or not. Actually.
Joe, what do you remember about the story? Because you heard it when Maurice was on.
What I remember as it being told was Scotty, they were on tour. Scotty Freeman went in to buy condoms. And when he looked at the pack, he flipped out because the guy looked like Maurice. And so he took it to Maurice and was like, what the hell is going on here?
Oh, and so Maurice
He went from there.
had a deal because the geezer looked like him in the packet.
Yeah, because they both had that mustache. It was amazing.
Yeah. That
And
seems
it
like
ended up in some magazine too, Joe. That's what Maurice said.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Don, what do you got for us there? You looks like you got some goodies you're gonna pass
Yeah,
out.
I'm actually looking through some pictures to see if I can find anything scandalous.
Okay.
You guys, in fact, Dave, I think I've got a scandalous one of you.
Oh, not from Brian Blyther, I hope not.
Yeah, from the Blyther collection, the
Oh, this
Blyther
is the part,
archive.
Joe, you're gonna edit this part out, okay?
I honestly don't know if I've got a hard copy of it, but I've got a picture of it on
Thank you, Gumby.
my computer.
Naked Gumby picture.
Yeah, a couple of naked Gumby pictures.
It's Craig Grosso doing a Gumby.
Ron, these are your pictures.
Oh, what pictures are those?
Look at this. Look at this handsome dude.
Oh my God, look at Ron.
Oh.
let's see that one again. Dom, sorry, I missed it, man.
Don, show it again.
Straight out Pearl Jam.
How old were
Pearl
you
Jam, yeah.
That was last year.
I think there's some pictures of Spike in it too. Somewhere in Rockville.
I remember that picture of him the first time he got in freestyling and his hair was all crazy.
Spike?
It was a really good picture of him the first time I saw a picture of him in freestyling.
Okay, I have a Factor Freestyle about Spike. In Galveston, Texas, was Spike kicked out of a surf shop? 1985.
It sounds familiar. Galveston.
A surf shop, 1985. Spike looks like he's 12.
I would say fact.
Dom,
Definitely.
would you
I'd say
say
it's highly likely, isn't it? Yeah.
You have to say either fact or freestyle. You don't understand the rules
Sorry,
of this.
I'm new.
Where'd you get this guy, Joe? This guy doesn't. Okay, you can either say fact or Wilkerson.
I'm gonna say fact.
Fact.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember it to be fact as well. And
Oh,
Ron, when you were there and you freaked out. You were like, "What? This is your client. You're kicking out. This is your guy. How could you be kicking him out? Like he wants to buy some surf pants or some shorts or a skateboard." You were so livid about it, Ron.
What about these guys?
Oh my God.
Oh.
That's Sean and me, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. You
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
All right.
You get to show 3 more photos, so be very selective.
This is Ron and Xander yesterday.
Oh, nice.
Who's that? I can't see the bottom one. Bottom person.
Wow, that's a good one, man.
Look at that cool ramp.
Wow.
2 more.
Oh.
This is a great one.
Hey, X-Men.
Mike.
Is it? Do a little.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Can you see
Closer.
it?
Can you get closer, Dom?
Can you go on Zoom right now?
Don't cough his head.
Go down a little bit low.
Both of you.
Yeah.
All right, can you do it? I've got Wilkerson and Dom on the line. I can send you the link.
How long will it be?
We're just finishing up, so maybe 10 minutes.
Lunchtime.
Okay, I'm getting home, so let me. I will call you and send it as an email.
Is it English?
I think
Wait.
so. Wait, I only have your old work email though. Okay, can it be pretty soon?
What's that photo?
Probably within 5 minutes.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, I'll send it to you right now.
Oh
So,
my gosh, is that the behind the scenes for that?
Yeah,
with 2 E's.
from that DC speak.
Wow.
Okay, I'll send it right now.
Oh, no.
Wait, I have a factor freestyle. Never
Oh, yeah.
been done. I went in 2 weeks ago. No, not even 2 weeks. 1 week ago, I met Mike Buff's daughter at a party in Ashland. We took a photo. I did a Gumby and she did a little like stand on the back peg, and a dog, a male dog, came up and started to hump my leg. Is that factor freestyle?
Mid Gumby?
Mid Gumby.
Dang.
It's never been done, Joe.
The humping Gumby.
The humping Gumby.
I think that's fact.
I'd say fact.
Totally.
Did you see it on your seat post, or was it conveniently missing?
Oh.
Another Dave moment.
85.
Brian Dave.
Wow. Fucking shit. Old Dom's busting out the buckle, old ones, man.
Dom's busting out the goal.
Wow.
Who's that? Oh, that's Brian. Oh, and Kevin Martin. I don't
Kevin
recognize the
Martin,
girl.
that guy's fucking mental. No, Kevin Martin, that Kevin Martin, you know, because he's an EMT, that him and his mates would just like go for it so hardcore, madness. And then just the next day, they would like rehydrate themselves with the drip because they got the drip because they're EMT.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and said that they.
He did have a story to share when we had him on the show. Kevin talked about Ron, and he used to race motorcycles, and I don't think it was on a track. Wasn't it from?
No, it was like
it
was like the Cannonball Run.
Yeah.
On 5 between San Francisco and or between LA and San Francisco.
And how long did that take? That 8-hour, 7-hour drive? How long did you guys do it?
We did it in like 4 hours.
Jeez.
At like 2 a.m. But yeah, we went to Mardi Gras once, and I remember waking up to seeing Kevin and his friend hooked up to IVs.
Really?
Yeah. We were all in a motorhome with DJ Larry Lair, among others.
That's crazy. Okay, X-Men should be joining us in just a minute. Dom, what else do you got? You thought you had some other photos.
I got tons. I'm just looking for a specific one.
Oh,
I've got stuff like this as a filler.
Oh, nice. I gotta make my screen bigger. We got so many people, Joe.
Yeah.
Okay.
retirement.
We gotta all give X-Men a warm welcome.
And do it today.
factOrFreestyle.
On a ball running, it's gonna.
This is the first time he's been on. We're gonna be nice to him. And Joe, I think we should pitch him the third sponsorship since we've already got Wilkerson and Dom locked in.
Yes. I'm sending.
I mean, imagine if we got 3 deals in one shot. So Dom, talk a little bit about, you can give your plug since you have come on as a sponsor. So talk about your latest project as we're waiting for X-Men.
Yeah, so I'm doing the third edition of my book, which is just an expanded version of it. 200 new pages, right? I know that's what everyone wants to know about, is how much new stuff.
Yeah.
200 pages of, there's a UK chapter, there's a tour chapter with you guys jumping in, CW team, Skyway team, GT. So yeah, some good stories from the road. Tons of new photography. Bill Batchelor, who everyone has no doubt noticed, is coming on with a bunch of good stuff.
Instagram, it's insane.
Yeah, yeah, he's made a lot of good stuff available too. So he's trying to get his own book out there as well, I think. So yeah, tons of new content, good stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool. And what date? What's your date?
I think it's going to drop in December because we got some challenges with getting print out of China, so it's kind of slow to get it made and whatever. But yeah, we're doing some little packages too, so some shoes and t-shirts for people that like that stuff. Yeah, so on the website.
Okay, so listeners and viewers, just tag your orders with factOrFreestyle, and that will help us to continue this show for many years to come. Promo code factOrFreestyle.
Exactly. 1% of every book sale will go to factOrFreestyle.
Did you say 1%?
Yeah.
Nice, Joe. We're just
double.
Hey, Xavier, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
I hear him.
Where is he? Can you see it?
Where is he?
Thanks for bringing Mike Dominguez on, because Ron said he'll be on the show if Mike was there. So there's Mike. On his shirt, Ron.
What's up, X-Man?
Oh, you are. How you doing, my friend?
Good. Here with Nick Phillips.
Hello.
What's up, Nick? Where's Xander?
He's playing in back with his friend.
Oh,
The other X-Man.
that's right.
Mhm.
So who's all on?
Did we ride together somewhere? You look totally familiar, man.
I get mistaken for Hugo all the time.
No.
Maybe we were in England. Did you go to England?
Yeah, I mean, I'm from the UK, so yeah, I was there in 8.
Were you there when Dom and I did the birth of the freestyle movement?
No. I wasn't there. No, sorry.
Oh, no
Nick
worries.
been at the wall ride.
Oh, wow.
Or I was first to get it published, which is now we don't know whether or
And
not that
Caleb,
counts
too.
fencing it up in debate. But I was the first to get it. But enough of that.
Okay, X-Men, Factor Freestyle. Eddie Roman secured his Skyway deal because Hugo separated his shoulder at Pleasanton, California.
Okay.
Factor Freestyle. Do you think that's made up story, or do you think it's actually fact?
Fact or freestyle?
That's the name of the show you're on.
Oh,
Welcome.
okay. Well, welcome. Thank you. I'm gonna have to say that's probably freestyle.
Okay, that's fact according to Eddie Roman. Okay, Factor Freestyle. Joe Johnson had ants in his pants when he made up the first tail whip. They like bit his junk and he like twitched around and pulled his first tail whip, and he had ants in his pants. Factor Freestyle.
Freestyle.
Freestyle. He's denying it, but we think there might be some truth because Matt Hoffman said that he had some red ants on his ramp, so there may be some truth to it. Okay, Factor Freestyle. Did Ron Wilkerson secure, along with some other riders, but we have Wilkerson on here now, so we'll use him, secure an Avis contract for rent-a-cars to deliberately go and joyride them for contractual compensation?
That would be freestyle. I don't think anybody would go on contract to let you destroy a rental car.
They
But
say any publicity is good publicity, so I don't know. Ron, is that fact or freestyle?
Any publicity is good publicity. That's
But
true.
you and Spike deliver a rent-a-car back that was really mashed up? Didn't you used to do that jump the hill in San Francisco?
That was normal. We would always
Like, cause you got it on the Amex card or something. They had some kind of insurance. I heard rumors about that. You used to mash cars up a lot, rent-a-cars.
What about the one that the door got pulled off? How did that one get returned?
Do you remember that story, Ron, in Paris?
Of course, the door was in the boot.
Okay, Xavier, you're on the hot spot right now. So you're doing great. So far you got 2 for 2, and the grand prize we just secured 2 sponsorships. So we'll send you a care package if you can get out of this and win this contest. So Factor Freestyle.
Factor Freestyle, the Jose Vendetta.
You do this next one, the Jose Vendetta, Joe, because you know it better than I do.
So apparently, Jose is preparing to do a tail whip, a ground tail whip on a Travis Pastrana bar spin motorcycle in Baldy Pipe, because for 30 years he's been pissed at Brian Blyther.
Because he claimed that he invented it before Brian.
Is that Factor Freestyle about it being done at the Baldy Pipe? That would be freestyle.
Freestyle. Okay. Yet to be determined. We haven't seen the tickets yet, but.
So you haven't heard anything about this?
No motorcycle tail whip at the Baldy Pipe. No.
Okay. You would have known because that's you were like, that's your backyard.
Yeah.
Fact or freestyle? Bob Harrow is an over gripper.
Okay. Factor Freestyle. Bob Harrow is an over gripper.
Yeah, I can't say.
What is that? I don't know.
Over gripper?
Yeah.
If you like help them.
I already had it.
Oh, okay.
I would say that's a fact.
Here, I'm gonna get that.
Has Bob Harrow overgripped when he's shaking your hand? Are you a victim of the overgripping?
A few times, yes.
Can you tell us the story? Take us back to that moment when Bob Harrow overgripped you.
I remember one time at the pipeline in about 1986, he gave me some knee pads that were like these replaceable kneecaps, and I had crashed on them, and the screw went through my knee, and he was there, and I was showing him, and he was like, "Oh man, yeah, let me see those. I'll take those back and check them out." So he took them back from me. So I never had any evidence of it. but ended up getting about 5 stitches, and I think he overgripped me at that time.
Wow. Factor
Wow.
Freestyle. Did Bob Harrow send Eddie Roman a cease and desist letter?
Eddie Fiola.
Oh, I'm sorry. What did I say? Eddie Roman? I'm sorry, Eddie Fiola.
What? What's the question again? Did who send who a cease and desist?
Did Bob Harrow send Eddie Fiola a cease and desist letter
A letter for what, though?
for his logo, his silhouette of Bob standing next to a bike?
Oh, with Eddie standing next to his bike.
Right.
I believe that's a fact.
Bingo. Oh, you're good. This guy, man, he's like a star contestant. We're going to have you back, X-Man. You know your history.
For the $10,000, yes.
No, we're talking about like $10. So far we got a shoelace sponsor, and we've got, I think, a sticker sponsor, but
So you get one.
it's all beginning. It's ground floor. Okay, Factor Freestyle.
To buy the other shoe.
Did Dave Nourie invent the Gumby because Dean Palacio did it at a contest that you were at? You were in the same class in Huntington Beach in 1984. Dean did the Nourie handstand before Dave Nourie did it. And Dean got it in the magazine. So Dave was so bummed, he went into seclusion for 2 months and practiced the Gumby. And Dave's story is that he made up the trick, the Gumby, right before his run when his mom was taking pictures. And that's the story that Dave's been telling. Factor Freestyle.
Oh, that's freestyle. Dave Nourie invented the Gumby. And that was at the Hutch freestyle contest in Huntington Beach in 1984.
I'm not really hungry though.
85, San Diego. 84 was when I did the Nourie handstand.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we'll give you half a point for there. What do you think, Joe? I think half a point.
Well, he had a perfect answer. He knew exactly. He didn't believe any of the. He believed that it was freestyle that someone else actually did the Nourie handstand first.
Got it. Factor Freestyle, Xavier. Did Ron Wilkerson roll a van in Dothan, Alabama, because he was swerving to miss a dog?
I'm going to say that could be fact, but I'm going to say freestyle because I don't believe Ron rolled the van trying to miss a dog.
Very good point. This guy is good. So let me rephrase it. Did Ron Wilkerson swerve to miss a dog and flip a van upside down onto its roof?
That's a fact.
How much compensation do you think he got from Avis for that?
Oh, he got 0.
No, because he had the contract, I'm thinking.
That would be a 0 compensation.
0 compensation.
He maybe got a replacement rental truck, but that's it.
Okay, I'm searching my bank. Joe, do you have any that come to mind? Yeah, well, X-Men, thanks for joining us. And Todd,
I've been in like
this has been the
I've been in like 4 cities since we've been talking.
Yeah, Todd, you've been like, this is the life of Todd.
Car to home to bike.
So more on a serious note, you did really good, by the way, and your prize will be in the mail. We have your address.
I'll be
so
looking.
we are seeking sponsorship, and on this call alone, we actually secured 2 deals, and this is kind of a ground floor opportunity. And I know you're really good with this kind of stuff. And Joe and I have been talking about what we're going to do, and we're going to kind of put it out to our audience because we've been doing this for a year. We've already got 17 subscribers. We launched Matt Hoffman's video today. It's already got 43 views. So the numbers are just to say, I mean, they speak for themselves, obviously. Yeah. And so what are you laughing at over there, Dom? And so we want to come to you to see if Xavier Enterprises will sponsor Fact or Freestyle.
Oh, I'm there. You got my sponsor.
3 for 3, Joe. One show, 3 for 3.
3 for 3.
All right, guys. It's been so much fun. Thank you so much, Ron.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nick.
Hell yeah.
Thank you, Todd.
Off topic, man. This is so cool, man.
Dom, thank you for being there, and we're looking forward to your book in December. Xavier, we'll send the contract, sponsorship contract here shortly. And yeah.
People about you're gonna get at least 2 more views from me.
I know. I just do different devices. Use like your iPad and your, we need those numbers to grow.
Really game it, man. Game those algorithms.
We're all about the numbers. Joe and I said, if we're going to do this, we need to get the numbers. We need to make this, really happen.
You gotta go big.
Yeah, go big.
Break the internet, man.
That's right.
All right, guys. Thanks so much. This has been awesome. You guys.
Hey, thanks so much, guys.
Take care.
See ya.
Bye, Todd.